As much as 1/3 of this papaya field will be unmarketable and thrown out because the fruits are just too small. And with no significant rain forecast in the next 2 months, one agriculture expert calls it a slow death. Researchers began studying Lake Tahoe nearly 40 years ago when the waters were relatively pristine and visibility was as deep as 100 feet. Now, visibility is only 70 feet, and it's being reduced by more than 1 foot each year. The biggest problem from Hurricane Danny is not wind, but rain. It's dumped 18 to 20 inches in some parts, causing severe flooding in low-lying areas. Bridget, I'm across the river from Louisville, and right now I'm standing on a street that is normally located next to the park. The gazebo behind me now, just part of a big, brown, ugly, muddy lake. And over here behind me, the Utica Township Fire Department. Firefighters managed to get out the important emergency equipment, everything except for the Coke machine and a refrigerator. Over here, you can see some of the houses that are covered up to almost their rooftops. Papaya farmers say their trees are now so starved for water that the fruits are much smaller than normal. So small that as much as 35% of the harvest will be unmarketable and thrown out. The Park Service blames the warm spring weather and melting snow for the slide. For the past 120 years, 71 people have died trying to climb Mount Rainier. But the Park Service says that's a small number compared to the 10,000 people who come here to go mountain climbing each year.
From Robert Hager, we go now to NBC's Farland Chang, further south in Morehead Beach, North Carolina. Farland.
Brian, the eye of the hurricane is 50 miles away, but its far-reaching impact is being painfully felt by people all along the Carolina coast. The Red River continues to rise very slowly. It's supposed to go up to 26 feet above flood stage sometime later today. Right now you can see the water's covering up a good chunk of this road as well as what used to be a golf course. This is now covered up with 5 feet of water at some points. President Clinton is scheduled to come out and survey the damage firsthand tomorrow, and the most severe damage will be in downtown Grand Forks. It looks more like a steaming shell of a city right now. A fire over the weekend destroyed 11 buildings. 6 of them burned to the ground. This was over a 4-block span. Good morning, Soledad. On a clear morning here from High Point, you should be able to see the famous St. Louis Arch behind me, but on this morning, it's virtually invisible because of this storm. We're getting this hard snow coming down to add to the 6-8 inches of snow that have already fallen onto some parts of St. Louis. Danny turned out to be one of the slowest moving hurricanes along the Gulf in decades. It sat here for so long that it dumped 41 inches of rain in Mobile Bay.
And we're going to go now to St. Louis, where NBC's Farland Chang is standing by. Farland, what's the latest there?
Hello, Patty Ann. It is sunny here in St. Louis as well, but it still feels like a freezer. Temperature now 16 degrees, but factor in that chill from the wind, and it feels like below 20 degrees. A lot of people here in this community have not even begun to shovel out the snow from their sidewalks, and when they do, they are going to be in for quite a workout. You got to go through about 1.5 inches of ice before you even get to the surface of this sidewalk. People are being advised to not overexert, especially if you've got a heart condition. The gentleman over here behind me, that's Don Steck. He says that the folks here in St. Louis are just not accustomed to the 8 to 12 inches of snow that came down. Maybe 2 to 3 inches is what they're used to. And over here we've got a resident. She has decided not to leave her home the entire week. Let's talk to this woman here. This is Tammy Wharton and her daughter Brianna. Tammy, can you tell us how you've been holding up?
Well, we stocked up before I got here, and we've been staying in since.